This short video will demonstrate Premier IT Solutions utility for updating attachments within Quality Center ALM. Attachments within ALM are attached to the test script itself within the test plan module. Because Premier's hybrid test framework is data table centric, there are many there's a data table for each test. We've found that as the test suite grows and you go from dozens to hundreds and even thousands of tests, making necessary changes to these data tables that are the driving factor behind the scripts, making global changes such as date changes, going from one cycle to the next, where a cycle is date dependent, it gets more and more difficult the more tests you have. So we've come up with a utility that does two things. It will do a query of specific information you're looking for. It will tell you which tests and what rows in these data tables the piece of information resides, and then it gives you the option to change any of those returned values to some other value that you can use for tests going forward. It will check out the data table, make the change, check it back in, and leave a notation. The file that controls this is a simple control file, simple data table data sheet. Again, because our framework is data table centric, the queries are based on the column headers. In our case, it's browser, page, object, action, and the data. Within that, we can specify any criteria for the search. In this case, for the first search in row 2, we're looking for an object called returning date, and we're looking for a value of 12/31/2011. The criteria must be met in both cases for a value to be returned. In the second search, we're going to be looking for browser name of Welcome Mercury Tours with a page of Book a Flight Mercury, and the object is the password object. We'll go ahead and run that utility. The code will open the spreadsheet, look at the criteria, and then search through every attachment in every test in Quality Center ALM. Alright, so we have our results. The results show up on this sheet 2. You can see here's our criteria again that we were looking for, our query criteria. And here are our results. So what we see is we have hits in the following test: demo test 2, my test, and again demo test 2 and my test. Test IDs are noted here. These are the values that were returned based on our criteria. Browser, select the flight, returning date, the action was verify, and here's our dates that need to be changed. It also shows us the row number that these occurrences are on in the data table itself. So what we need to do is we would like to change 2011 in demo test 2 to 2012. So here's demo test 2. We have another occurrence of demo test 2 because it must show up twice in that test, and you can see that by the two rows that it's showing up on. So we'll update those as well. So now we have our new dates. Instead, we're going from 12/31/2011 to 12/31/2012 for the demo test 2 test. We're going to leave my test alone for now. We'll show the differences there. So now we'll run the update utility. This utility code will open that control file. It's going to open each of the specified tests that I have on that update sheet. It's going to make the change. It's going to check it out first, make the change, check it in with a version history notation. Alright, so our data tables have been updated. We'll go back into Quality Center. So here we can see the first test that we were updating, demo test 2. Now what it did was took the original data table, made a copy of it, and gave it a data table underscore automation 36. That's just the timestamp. It takes it to the nearest minute or second system clock, and then creates a new data table with your updates. It also has the version history notation here, updated by automation. So let's take a look inside the data table. We'll scroll up, and the changes, returning date was the object, and there's the new date. We note it with a not only the changed date here, but you can see that it's been highlighted in a different color to indicate that that was a modification to the data table. As we said, there were two instances of that date being changed in this test, and there we can see the other change. So you can see how quickly this can be done. In a simple test like this, we only had a few tests that we were looking at querying and modifying, but when you have many tests, a tool like this is incredibly valuable. If you have any other questions about this or any of our utilities or IT services, please follow this contact information.